first ocean. And after the first ocean was created, the noon ocean, came the sun disk and emerged from the ocean. Then came the first generation of gods and goddesses. So the ancients assigned a god for the earth, and they called Geb, and goddess for sky, and they called her Nut, a god for wind, and they called it like, Shu, and goddess for moisture, and they called it, Tifnut. According to the myth, the goddess of sky got married of the god of earth, and gave birth for the first generation of human, gods. So according to the myth, they gave birth for two sisters, Isis and Nephthys, two brothers, Osiris and Seth.
Osiris?
Uh-huh.
That's my nephew's middle name.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no. Shiloh Osiris.
It's pure Egyptian origin.
Yeah.
And according to the myth, they got to refer to Osiris as the Lord of the Deads, the Lord of the underground world. And it was described as a kind-hearted, god. So he was really popular god. Each one of the two males got married of his own sister. So Osiris got married of his own sister Isis, and Seth, the lord of the evil, got married of his sister Nephthys. And Seth always felt jealous from his own brother Osiris, because he thought he got married of the prettiest sister, and as I told you, he was like a popular god. In a way or another, you can tell that Seth made up his mind, and he decided to get rid of his own brother. So he prepared a trick. He prepared a largest banquet, and reclaimed at the point, that banquet, to receive his friends from other goddess. And he prepared a golden coffin, and he reclaimed that golden coffin for whoever with the same dimension of that golden coffin. Once his own brother Osiris stepped inside the golden coffin, he locked the golden coffin and threw it deep inside the water of the Nile River. Then came the faithful wife Isis, and you see papyrus scrolls, papyrus scenes show Isis roaming in Egypt, asking the children playing in the streets if they ever had seen, the golden coffin of her, husband. Till they found, the gold coffin, and she was a goddess of magic. So with magic spells, she passed away, and she got her husband back again to life.
Brought him to life. Yeah.
The evil brother. He made up his mind, and he really wanted to get rid of his own brother
again.
So he wasn't happy when he knew about it, and he re-killed his brother. But in that time, after he killed his brother, he cut the body of Osiris into pieces.
Oh.
So we have two tales, maybe 14 pieces or 42 pieces. 42 pieces with the same number of the ancient province of Egypt, and he dispatched it
to each province.
The parts of his own brother's body all over Egypt. Isis, she was really stubborn.
She wanted her husband.
Yeah, and she didn't accept that. And it's all about magic and love. So she kept, trying her best to get all the parts of her husband's back again to life. So she found all the parts except for one part, except for the male parts.
Aww.
That's why she totally depended on magic to be pregnant later with Horus, the baby Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris. And she went to the marshes of Delta to hide her baby son Horus away from his evil uncle. Seth kept telling him no way to forget about, your father, and to take revenge from your evil uncle, Seth. You can tell that her husband Osiris, after he came back to life, he refused to stay on the world of living. And in a way or another, after he knew about the pregnancy of Isis, he left the throne of the living world for his son. And he became, as I told you, the lord of the underground world, or the lord of the deaths. That's why later the king of Egypt, the pharaoh of Egypt, was described as Horus when he was still alive. So among his the titles, the ancient pharaohs, got the Horus title, the living king. But after the death, the pharaoh of Egypt, was placed in his coffin in the Osiris form with the two arms crossed upon the chest.
Oh, yeah.
So, and back again to the math, Isis raised, baby Horus to young, strong man, and he, tried his best to take good revenge from his little uncle Seth. But while they were fighting, Horus lost his eye, and hence they considered the eye of Horus as a typical amulet of protection. The son lost his eye while protecting and defending, his parents. That's why till nowadays you will find that the eye in Egypt here, it's on the top.
What about the eye of Ra?
Eye of Ra, it's supposed to be eye of Horus, not the eye of Ra.
Because my sister has that tattoo.
Tell her it's not eye of Ra.
I'm gonna send this to her.
Because sometimes when they tell it's like eye of Ra, because of the circle,
right?
The people, they tell it stands for Ra, the sun disk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the pupil of the eye of Horus stands for Ra. That's the main origin. So, according to the mass we have mentioned, you will find kind of similarity, first of all, between the Christianity and, the story of Virgin Mary and baby Jesus. Here in Egypt, it's quite believed that Virgin Mary and baby Jesus, they came here in a holy trip. And it's a holy family, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph, all they come here to escape from the Roman Emperor. And they stayed in Egypt here for 3 years and a half. The early Christian here tried their best to follow the steps of Virgin Mary, and they built like churches, monasteries, where the Holy Family stayed for a while. Among these places here in Cairo, we have the Church of St. Cyrus. So if you're considering visiting Old Cairo, you're gonna visit the Church of St. Cyrus, which has a cave where the Holy Family stayed for a couple of weeks.
I was gonna visit that church, yeah.
So this as well related, to the royal shape, the cartouche shape you're seeing here, the origin of creation. So the horizontal line here stands for the ocean, for the first ocean, while the oval shape stands for the sun that emerged from the ocean. So that's the beginning of creation. So for the ancient Egyptians, that's the infinity sign, because this is the source of life. That's why it was the typical shape they choose to put the royal name inside. At the beginning, it was just allowed for the kings to place and to write their names in this kind of royal shapes, the cartouche shape. Later, it became a matter of honor for certain nobles to write their names as well, inside these